Welcome back. Citigroup CEO Jane Fraser announcing a complete reorganization of the bank's business. It includes job cuts and a consolidation of management, part of a bid to streamline decision-making as the stock remains in a slump, down 6% this year, although up 2% on the news today. Joining us now is our own Leslie Picker, as well as Hugh Sun, to chronicle in detail what's going on here. Leslie, I'm not sure there's much more to say other than a 20-year stock chart.
Well, the 20-year is a good time horizon to look at because Jane Fraser basically called this the biggest reorganization in the last 2 decades. The stock reacting somewhat muted to the news, I think less than many analysts had expected it to, up about 2%, because the main goal from all of this, kind of as you look at these reorgs that tend to take place from time to time at banks, they're trying to drive efficiency, essentially eliminate certain layers, make sure that when decisions need to be made, they're made in an expedient fashion and aren't bogged down by bureaucracy and red tape and things that you can find in big organizations anywhere, but especially true at large regulated banks. And so that's the end goal here. But of course, with efficiency, with reorganization, often comes job cuts, which the industry itself has really been kind of succumbing to over the last year or so. Citigroup didn't put a number on the amount of jobs they plan to cut. They said there will be cost savings that are announced in their fourth quarter earnings. But, you know, anytime you see this, you can kind of expect some trimming down of the workforce.
So, Hugh, as if we could look at a comparative chart of Citi, Bank of America, and J.P. Morgan, say, over the past 10 years, you look at Citi, and it's been essentially dead money. Why? What have they gotten wrong?
Well, it dates back to the financial crisis. So they actually had a deal initially to purchase the bank assets of Wachovia. Now, that went to Wells Fargo, which ended up paying a lot more money for it. That was hugely consequential for Citigroup and its future because they never had that huge base of cheap deposits that in a zero interest rate environment was essentially helping them, you know, stay afloat and print money. And I'm talking about the rivals here. And so they were always subscale in the place that you wanted to be a mega scaled player, which is the United States market. And so they've got, you know, a huge overseas empire of these subscale, smaller retail businesses, which they've largely exited. But they were really kind of crippled in that sense. And as you say, they've been dead money since then and are trading for roughly what they traded for around the 2008 timeframe, which is astounding.
Leslie, they made a very conscious decision, didn't they, to sort of wind down their U.S. retail banking presence. I mean, you just don't see Citibank.
They've been
You don't see Citibank locations around, even in the New York market, particularly. Yeah, there's some, but not.
Yeah. From a physical branch standpoint, that's absolutely true. And of course, they've been divesting a lot of their international businesses. They're expecting to IPO their Mexico business in about 2 years' time. So it's really part of this slimmer, more focused organization. They're hoping that, you know, with driving key focuses and key competencies, they're going to be able to really boost that stock price. So far, it really remains to be seen. They've been transforming the business for years now, as Hugh alluded to, this idea that kind of a post-financial crisis Citi has just really continually been in this mode of transformation. So this, according to Fraser, is the biggest one yet in terms of an overall reorganization. We'll see if it's effective.
Hugh, what would you add?
Well, this is the structure. So Jane Fraser is changing a structure that essentially was put in place by Sandy Weill 20 years ago. And the former executives and the current executives I've spoken to today after the announcement said that basically you had country heads and you had division heads squabbling. You had behavior in which people could essentially behave as though they ran their own company within Citi. And so you had a lot of dysfunction. And I think that this, she's getting some good reviews for this change. I think the question is, she's been CEO for 2.5 years now. This structure's been there forever. It's been a known issue. Why did it take this long for her to do these changes, guys?
As we look, Hugh, at that fall off in the stock price, I don't know whether you can see it, but it's roughly the time of the financial crisis. Was there a reverse stock split there or something that accounts for a lot of that?
Tyler, I have that in my head. I mean, mostly it's their exposure to, they went all in, whole hog on CMBS and a lot of these exotic mortgage-backed securities in which pumped up their valuation for a time being. That was clearly illusory. And when that balloon got popped, they just never recovered, Tyler.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how high the shares were once worth. And Leslie, do they remain kind of an idiosyncratic case? Or, I mean, we've talked about, Morgan Stanley seems to be doing quite well. Goldman obviously has its struggles. But Citi really, this stock has been, it seems, just kind of the more difficult story for so long now.
It's definitely been a depressed stock, and I would say it's an idiosyncratic case for certain reasons. I mean, Wells Fargo has also had its challenges and scandals, and that has had an adverse impact on its stock price as well. So overall, the banking industry is experiencing a whole host of headwinds. It's been broadly as a group trading lower since the end of July when the Basel III endgame rules were first announced, or where they were first revealed. That would increase their capital requirements, as well as just the overall macroeconomic picture hasn't necessarily been favorable for the banks as a whole. But in terms of just idiosyncratic, overarching management of the business, Citi is definitely facing its own headwinds, and they're hoping that this restructuring is able to combat some of those pressures. But it's all part of this idea of streamlining, focusing, and then driving those businesses that they think can help boost the stock price in the future. So, we'll see if it works this time around. But I think investors have been patient that have been in the stock for a while, and we'll see how long that patience lasts.
All right, folks, thanks very much. And you see the stock a little bit higher today. Leslie Picker-Husson, we thank you.